Hi, this is Alka, and welcome back to my channel. Well, my son is watching something. Well, we got some interesting news from Political. It's about Andrew Cuomo and his book. Apparently, a some kind of committee looking into his book decides that any attempt for him to block a probe into his $5 million pandemic book deal was defeated. So he has to go through this. This is from Bill Mahoney of the Political. You know, the one that took money from USA Aid. Says Cuomo lose attempt to block probe into his $5 million pandemic book deal. The loss comes as the former governor takes steps towards a run for New York City mayor. So, New York's top court has upheld the constitutionality of a state new ethics commission, delivering a blow to former Governor Andrew Cuomo as he considers a run for mayor. Cuomo has challenged the commission as they launch a probe into his $5 million deal to write a memoir on COVID. He won in two lower courts, but the Court of Appeals said with the state in a split 4-3 decision the Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government does not run afoul of separation of power rules and can continue to operate as designed, the judge said. The decision means that COELIG can resume its investigation into Cuomo just as he puts together pieces of his likely high-profile New York City mayoral campaign. He's hoping he could take over for Eric Adams. The predecessor ethics commission has concluded that the ex-governor improperly used state resources, he wrote, American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from COVID-19 Pandemic in 2020. It tends to force Cuomo to repay the $5.1 million he earned from the deal. As litigation over that continues, the commission was replaced by COLEIGO. Cuomo brought his suit once this new entity picked up where its predecessor left off. Tuesday's decisions likely mean there will be a new public probe that will take as many months. But if COELIGO acts similarly, it's not clear if Cuomo has enough money to pay it. All initial $3.2 million payments went to taxes and expenses, a $500,000 donation in United Way, and $1 million trust for his daughters, according to his final financial disclosure before he left office. Cuomo arguments had mirrored those made by President Trump's lawyer in recent weeks after the White House fired a long list of expected generals and independent watch groups that police the executive branch that cannot follow the separation of power doctrines. The majority of New York lawyers or judges concluded that the law created the commission extend very closely to the boundary of permitted legislation, but does not cross it. The legislation structure the commission to address a narrow but critical gap arose from the inherited disincentive for the executive branch to investigate and discipline itself, which has seriously consequences for public confidential or confidence in government. Judge Jenny Rivera wrote, the act does not displace the executive branch to accomplish its goal. Instead, it confers upon an independent agency power to enforce a narrow set of laws, though mitigating the unique dangers of self-regulation. The act addresses a threat to the legitimacy of government itself with a extraordinary response. The dissident on the court pointed to a quote from former Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia that says that a separation of powers issue will often come before a court as a wolf clawed, so to speak, and sheep clothing. Wide-eyed, the majority close examines individual parts of the statute before us, pronounce each and every turn, not wolf. The dissent said, but step back, it's not grandma, it's a wolf. The decision is a victory for Kathy Hochul. She pushed to create COELIG after criticism that prior entities weren't deficient enough of the governor, despite criticism that some parts of its structure, such as the Board of Law School demeaned that's responsible for approval of any nominees. Given everything else on the plate, this would also be a uncomfortable week for court decisions that include that Hochul is too aggressive in political or policy in the good behavior of New York politicians. Representative for Cuomo and COELIG did not have immediate comments. But as you know, he wrote this book while during the middle of the pandemic. He was hailed as a hero. He had all these celebrities praising him, including Billy Joe. He was on TV every day. They had the countdown clock about how many people were dying for COVID. They're doing everything they could to screw then 45th President of the United States, Trump. And they succeeded in kicking him out of office, only he came back 4 years later to try to clean up the mess that they had created by putting Joe Biden in his place for 4 years. So, and the thing is, he's trying to run for mayor. He's hoping that Eric Adams being kicked out will open the spot for him. But with this investigation, it could hamper him because now the question about the book deal, but you know that families are still upset about the ones being killed by the COVID at the nursing homes with an executive order he put in that was a disaster for New York. Well, New Jersey did the same thing too. So basically, he's up a creek without a paddle, and his former lieutenant governor just screwed him in the rear end, like he never thought it would felt. And I don't care what the phone's doing. So this is Al Ken saying so long for now. Don't forget to stop. And no, don't replace Eric Adams because he wants a nice office in Rikers Island. All these lunatics that want him replaced are the ones that need to be replaced. Simple as that. The city is going cuckoo, loco, and then coco, all right? They all need to be put in a mental institution.